I'm going to show you how to get an FC26 beta code. There's different changes this year. There's a whole list of instructions, how to unlock all the game modes, play testing, all of that, and how to get the code into your email. So we're going to go through step by step. So I'm just going to slow it down because this year I think it's a bit different because some things have changed. So when you log in, you're going to get something that looks like this, FC26, and then you're going to end up getting a code. Now, the most important thing you have to remember is this code is tied to your ID. So if you get it on PlayStation, I'll explain to you what console you can choose in a second. But that means you can't share this code. You're under NDA, so you can't share it anyway. But even if you try to share it, it won't work. So don't try to buy the code if you don't get it. So you get something like this. This is in the last year's example, but yes, you can see FC Welcome to 25 Beta. Last year it started on the 6th of August and was open till the 27th. So expect, I would say, something very similar like last year. And then you'll get the code and you'll get the console. So what you want to do is you want to go to the EA, to the website right now. If you're doing this right now, you should see there's a Battlefield trailer release. And basically you want to go to the top right and you just want to log in to your account settings. Just log into your main account that you want it in. And you can do this for all the accounts technically that you have. That's what I used to historically do before they used to give me a code. But I used to log in every single account because some accounts is random what game mode you get. Sometimes you get Ultimate Team. I'll explain to you in a second how that works. But do it on all your accounts. Then when you get to this page over here, you can see this is my Nil Guides account. You want to head over to communication preferences. And then for your games, you want to choose all the EA games. So you can press add more and you can go and you can search for all the FC games. Now, what I would typically do is I typically add all the EA Sports FC games. That's what I basically historically do. If you want, you can add some other stuff, like maybe if you want Apex Legends or codes for other games. But I just choose all the EA ones. And to be honest, maybe even EA Play for PC is one thing that I'll add. So you should make sure you have all of them selected. So I've got all the EA Sports games just to make sure that they know that I'm playing all the games. And of course, make sure you got FC 25 and 24 ticked. Now, this is what's important. Preferred platforms. Now, there's people make this analogy, oh, if you select all of them, you're going to increase your chances. But what I'd recommend is the beta, if I'm not mistaken, historically is only available for the consoles, okay? Now, if you select PS3, number one, the beta doesn't come out on a PS3, it only comes out on PS5. I don't even think it even comes out on PS4. OJ, I'm not even 100% sure on that. But choose the console that you have. Now, me personally speaking, I've got Xbox Series X and I've got a PS5. So I'll select both. I would say select one. The reason why I say this is use the main one that you're playing that account on. Because if you select Xbox Series X, but you don't have an Xbox Series X, there's no point. What are you going to do with that code? You can't play it unless you go buy an Xbox Series X. So I would say just click the platforms you're on. So if I'm on PS5, I'll select PS5. But because I have both, I'm going to select PS5 and Xbox Series X like so. Another thing that's important over here is make sure you have your email preferences done. So email me about EA Sports news, events, promotions. Press this on. Make sure this is on because this is where they're probably going to send you the email. So unless they make some miraculous change, but historically speaking, it's a closed beta. It's only for those that get an invite. It's normally sent to your email address. So make sure this is set on. Very, very important. Now, what I do is just go to learn more. I'll take you to a portal. Just make sure you've at least signed up for the playtesting. I've already done it. And sometimes there'll be some playtesting games that are in process. I think Battlefield is there as we speak, Battlefield Labs. But just make sure you've signed up or at least you've actually ticked your preferences that you want to be available for playtesting. Now, these are the most important things, okay? You're going to get this via email. Make sure you check your spam email because a lot of the time these codes end up going to your spam email. So make sure you check your spam email. Now, this is the most important thing. The game modes where you get assigned is technically random. Now, I believe back in the day, if you got 27 out of 30 wins in a weekend league, or if you were verified, you will get the football ultimate team all the time guaranteed. I don't know if this has changed the elite division this year. Let me know. But I think if you're on the elite division, you've also got a chance to get in the game. I think everyone gets kickoff and learn to play, but then you might not get online seasons. You might get career modes. You might get different game modes. It will all be different and dependent on your version that you're playing and what games you played. So what my suggestion is, what they normally do is they're the first cohort of codes, then they're the second cohort of codes. So normally this beta started last year, 6th of August. Let's assume it's going to be the same thing. Let's say, for example, the next week. So what happened last year is I believe like 6 is when the codes came out. On the 13th, they then release codes again. So if you didn't get in the first cohort, you will get in a second cohort. Now, what happens is if you don't get all the game modes, don't stress, because what happens is normally 1 or 2 weeks before the beta ends, like let's say the 18th of August, something like that, what they normally do is they open up all the game modes historically. So don't worry if you didn't get the required game modes in the beginning. You can go to EA Help, they're not going to help you. Whatever game modes you get is what you get, but they normally open up all game modes later on. So don't feel bad if you haven't got it. And that is why I'd recommend doing on all your accounts. Now, there's a few things I also want to mention that you can do to increase your chances, okay? Number one, okay? Make sure you play the game, okay? So I would just say, just to increase your statistical chance, just play the game. Make sure you play some rivals games, maybe play a champs games. Just do that on PS5 if you're playing on FC25. Just play that. That way that you're showing that you're active. So if you haven't played the game all summer, that's something that I would suggest, okay? Now, I've talked about the two cohorts. The code, as I mentioned, is tied to your ID. So if you selected, let's say, remember I said to you before, you select what device you want to be in. I said, make sure you select the right device. If you get an Xbox code, that Xbox code is not going to work on PS5, nor can you transfer it over. So make sure you choose the right console that you have and you disable the ones that you don't have is my suggestion. And then what I would say to you is, again, the codes, they will only work. So your PSN ID is tied to the code. Okay. So if you give the code to your friend, you can't anyway. It's against NDA, but it's not going to work. Something else you got to bear in mind. And another thing is, historically speaking, the beta is more available for the UK and in the US. Some people like to use VPNs or change their location to UK and US. You can do that if you want to. But that's how you might see some players out of the region. They still play the game. You can still use it, but the experience might not be as good. So I know historically speaking, a pro may get the game. Let's say they're living in, I don't know, Japan, but there's no one next to them. There's no one near them playing the game. So the regions is kind of important. So you could technically play in another region because pros that have played qualifiers will get it in the regions that they're in, let's say in Asia, but it'll be difficult to find a game if you're playing online. Then they have a closed beta forum. I would 100% recommend you give your feedback in the forum. As I said, my structure, explain what you're doing, what the problem is, and what should happen. Now, one thing I want to mention is no progression is final. So you're going to end up getting, I can't talk about what happens in the beta, but you're going to play the game. That's all I can say. But whatever you do, let's say you get this amazing God Squad and 10 million coins, nothing transfers to the real game. So think of this as a test period. So let's say worst case scenario, you didn't get the beta. Don't worry, don't stress. Nothing happens until the game comes out. It just based like a test period. And after that, everything just gets wiped out. And when the game starts, everyone starts on fresh all over again. The only advantage you possibly get is that you can play the game a bit earlier. Now, if you haven't and you still want to learn about the meta, you can come join my Patreon series, patreon.com/NoGuys. Link will be down below in the description. And then you can stay up to date. And I'll even show you what the meta is in FC25, how to practice, how to prepare for it as well. And the most important thing is, do not post anything with the beta. Don't even say you like the beta. Don't post anything on social media. Definitely do not stream it. You read the terms of service. You can't stream it. You can't talk about it. You can't even tell your friend, I like the beta. Don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. Think of this like you won £10 million, and if anyone finds out, you lose your money. Because I've seen historically people have tried to stream it, accounts got banned, permanently banned. Social medias get shut down. So whatever you do, do not talk about the beta. Just don't mention anything. You're under NDA. If you want to talk about the beta, I believe the TOS says that you can speak about it. You'll see when it comes out. You can only talk about it in the actual EA forums, the beta section, in the beta section. And you'll only have access to that forums if you actually log in with your account. So that is everything to do with the beta. That is the best chance you're going to increase your code. I think, look, as long as you enable playtesting, you sign up for everything, you do the recommendations, you make sure email notifications on, and of course you make sure you're playing on that account on a recurring basis, you will get the game, in my opinion. There's still a chance you might not get it. On some of my accounts, I don't get it. On one of my accounts, on the Elite Division last year, on my test account, I didn't get it on that account. So if you have other accounts, maybe consider going on in the game, logging in, maybe playing the game or so, whatever you want to do, just to increase your likelihood. Because I've got an account in every single division. not all the time. Sometimes I get Ultimate Team on a random account that's never played Ultimate. I've never played Ultimate Team, and sometimes I've played Ultimate Team on my I got account Division 5 that I always test out tactics in. Last year, I did not get it at all on that account, so something just to bear in mind. But I think that kind of goes over everything with the beta. The codes should be coming out, I would say, around about in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. And assuming it's the 6th of August, last year the 6th of August was what? If we go back to the calendar, we go 6th of August. Last year was about a Tuesday. It could be the same thing this year. Who knows? But that would be regarding the beta. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, of course. Catch you next time, and best of luck.